Just a disclaimer before I start, all of these games are ones that I picked within the last 10 years of, right now when I upload this video. There are obviously way more games out there that people either hyped up way too much or treated poorly because of the time. I'm saying these games because these are games that I have played and I felt like, hey, they weren't that bad. What I will say is, if there are any games you feel like people overlooked or hated on for no reason, just put them in the comments. No reason to hate on each other. It's really just a discussion. But let's get into it. Up first is Battlefield Hardline. I loved Battlefield Hardline. Honestly, I would say I love this game more than Battlefield 4. I'd rather play 3 or this. And it's sad because a lot of people didn't like this game because, well, it wasn't Battlefield 4. It didn't have jets, it didn't have tanks, it wasn't military, it was cops versus robbers. I didn't have a problem with that. It was just a mix-up. At the time, you could still play Battlefield 4, or you could play this, and I didn't see it as much of a problem. Obviously, it had bugs and missing content, but those are things that were patched out over time. Secondly, we got Assassin's Creed Unity. This game was terrible when it came out, I'll be honest. I didn't get to play it initially, but I remember watching and thinking, wow, this game sucks. But I got it, and they had patched it as Ubisoft would, and man, this game is crazy. I never got to experience the co-op, but just playing single player on it, parkouring around, doing the missions, it was a fun game. I genuinely don't understand why people hated this one so much. Up next is Humankind. Initially, this game was plagued with a lot of issues. The online sucked, which honestly I think it still does. It crashed a lot. But other than that, when we're talking about gameplay, it was decent. A lot of Civ players don't like the fact that you could change civilizations over time or after every era, but I enjoyed this game. For a casual experience, it was fun. Obviously, it can't compare to Civilization, but hell, even Civilization 7 is copying mechanics from this game, and people aren't liking it. So I say go check this out, before Civ 7 comes out, because why not, right? Next is Mafia 3. When it came out, it was buggy. It didn't make it any better that Cat had made a video talking about how terrible the game was, and a lot of people don't play them, they get their pains from there. So there's that. I will say when they patched it, the game ended up being way better. It wasn't like Mafia 2, where it was sort of linear with open world. It was just open world. That was a hard one to bite for a lot of Mafia fans, but if you can get past that and just enjoy the story and the characters, I'm telling you, it's an experience you don't want to miss out on. Up next is Agents of Mayhem. I honestly really love this game. I talk about it all the time. I love the characters, the music, and then they have those little animation set pieces. Those are great. I would honestly watch a movie or like a cartoon series if that was a thing. But this game wasn't Saints Row, and Saints Row 2 fans and people like that were mad about that. And also, the only rightful argument I saw was that, the open world was not as fleshed out, and also didn't have co-op. But if you have a couple dollars on sale, please check this game out. Unfortunately, the studio shut down because they decided to make the unredeemable Saints Row reboot, so here we are. Infinite Warfare, right? Go play it. And the reason I say that is because the campaign is actually pretty good. Everything else around this game, from the marketing to locking Modern Warfare Remastered behind the paywall, and then also getting trampled by Battlefield 1, all that sucks. It kind of throws the game out. The multiplayer is kind of whatever, but you got to play the campaign. Like, it's good. I don't think I've had too many bad experiences with COD campaigns, so if you have this, go try it out. Mass Effect Andromeda. I'll be honest, it kind of felt like they were trying to retell the original game story, and it doesn't work that way. You couldn't do that. The writing isn't really there, and the characters aren't that memorable. But for short term, it's a good experience. The action's fun. Honestly, the worlds are pretty and nice to look at. There's a decent bit to do, I will say it does not hold a candle to the original trilogy, but I don't think that takes away from how fun it is. Originally, when it came out, it was a broken mess, but right now it's in a better state. So if you have it or can pick it up for $6, try it out. Next is Atomic Heart. Aside from the 2 dolls, the horny refrigerator, and people comparing it a lot to BioShock, this game's pretty fun. When it came out, just like I said with most games, it needed to be patched. And a big thing that got a lot of people at the time was it was made by a Russian studio, and I don't think that kills the game's fun for me, but I think a lot of people took that a little too far. So if you have, nothing to do at all, try the game out. It's there. Next is X-Defiant. X-Defiant is not an amazing game. It is mediocre, it is generic, and it's just a shooter, but I think that's great. Something has to bridge the gap between Call of Duty and Iron Sight, and having a free-to-play shooter like this around is good. The unfortunate part that kind of kills me is the game is dying And with it dying, Ubisoft's looking at pulling the plug, potentially very soon. And I feel like something has to fill that gap. Go try it out, maybe once. Next is Forspoken. Admittedly, I didn't play this yet, but I really, really want to. I watched my friend It's Crispy Chips play the game when he streamed it. I watched most of it and I thought it was cool. The open world isn't as fleshed out as I, would like it to be, but I think it's a cool game. I don't care how cringy people thought the dialogue was. It doesn't matter to me. It's a video game. I just want to play it and have fun. And it's really sad because now the studio is gone. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that people hate it before they played it. Now, I will say this. The performance was not all there. I cannot give them credit on that. But as with most games on this list, that was patched out. So yeah, I'm definitely still going to try this one out. This is probably my favorite game on the list. I love No Straight Roads, man. I pre-ordered the game. I got the physical copy. I even follow them on Instagram and keep up with them from time to time when they're showing like fan art and stuff. It's a game that's both enjoyable to look at and listen to, and unfortunately there's not a lot of games like that. I won't say people hated this, but there's a lot of reviews of people saying they just aren't really too into it. So if you find it, check it out. Don't be shy. Up next is Outriders. I love this game. This is the one game I sat for days on end just playing. I wanted to beat it so bad. I had fun with the powers. I liked the story. The characters are alright, but it was engaging enough to keep me going. And I don't really care for looter shooters. I'm not for the grind, that stuff. It's just not for me. But this kept my attention. At times it felt bland, but a lot of the times I was engaged. If you can pick this up for you and your friends, there's no reason not to try it out. Also, there's a DLC that came out, so if you can get that on sale, try that one out too. Up next is Death Stranding. I heard so much negativity about this game. All you do is walk. It's a mailman simulator. It's just a movie game. Oh, Kojima back at it again. I saw so many things. It's crazy, right? But after watching my friends play and then actually getting to play it was free on Epic, by the way, a while ago. But after getting to play it, I'm thinking like, wow, this is slow. And then I got into it actually. I'm like, wow, this is great. And I haven't beat it yet because it's kind of long, but I'm gonna keep playing it. And I think if you haven't played it, you should definitely try it out. Next on the list is Days Gone. Days Gone is the one game I can say, is very hated by critics for some odd reason, and people like it. I honestly think Days Gone is gonna go to be a cult classic for some. The action was great, the story was good, Deacon was a cool character, and the riding the bike around in this game actually felt good. There aren't many games that make bikes feel good, and I think Days Gone did a good job. Unfortunately, there's never going to be a sequel, but the game is still there for you to play. So if you got a couple dollars, or maybe if you can borrow it from somebody, try it out. No reason not to. Up next is Callisto Protocol. I will say one thing. Although I like this game and I think it's fun, the studio did shoot themselves in the foot with the big focus being on visuals. And I think this game is visually stunning. There's nothing else like it. But the optimization was so poor that even after the patches, it has problems. Now, if you can get the game for cheap, or if you can just play it on Game Pass, I don't know if it's on PS Plus, somebody have to tell me. No reason not to try it. It's pretty enjoyable. But unfortunately, the studio got shut down, so, Lastly, and sadly, is Anthem. I remember seeing this initially and thinking, oh my god, Iron Man Simulator, Me and my friends love this game, and when they said they were going to stop development on it, we were sad. And then that bright light came out of nowhere and said, we're going to make Anthem next. We're working on it right now. And EA was like, nah, we're shutting that down. There is no Anthem next. It was depressing. You can still play this game. Pick it up for maybe like $5-6 on EA or Xbox, PlayStation. But just know that we're not getting anything else from Anthem ever. That's sad. Well, that's pretty much it. I will say I appreciate you for making it this far. I didn't come here to start any arguments. I hope that some of the games that you thought were overshadowed, overlooked, or overhated are on this list. If not, then you can always talk about it in the comments. It's a safe space where we can all talk like adults about video games, because that's just what we like, right? If not, I really don't know how you found this video. But aside from that, I'll try to leave a few links in the description below. And I appreciate you for watching. You all have a good night, good day. Doesn't matter when you're watching the video, but be easy. Stay good.